I can feel there is somebody here, and he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears. Lets me know there's a heaven up there. Yeah, he's reaching out his hand to me to wash away my tears. Oh, I know you, and I praise you. Got my arms open for your love. Oh, I want to be near you. I hear angels from up above. They sing hallelujah. They sing hallelujah. I can see though my eyes are all closed. Yeah, he gives me strength to carry on and always lets me know that I'm fine just the way he made me. Every perfect imperfection is all because of him. Oh, I know you, and I praise you. Got my arms open for your love. Oh, I want to be near you. I hear angels from above. They sing hallelujah.
So it literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes for that baby to be delivered. Literally 5-10 minutes for that baby to be delivered. It really doesn't take long. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is part 2 of my personal experience with the NHS when I had my C-section. So the reason why I ended up having the reason why I was gonna actually put this somewhere, but I'm just gonna hold it anyway. But the reason why I ended up having a C-section, there are various reasons why you can request for one. It could be for medical reasons or just your own personal choice basically. But for me, I suffered from large fibroids, and I did have my fibroids removed, but I still had numerous fibroids, and because of that obviously affected me. It did not affect my pregnancy, the fibroids, but it was one of the reasons why I ended up having a C-section, because my placenta was not in the right position. It was basically, if you guys don't know, I had placenta previa. I'll may do another video if you want me to talk about it, but yes, the placenta was blocking the natural canal for the baby to come out, so I ended up having a C-section. And also with me having large fibroids and numerous fibroids, the risk of me bleeding along with the my placenta not being in the right position, that could lead to a bleeding, which could cause, we don't want to say the word, but it was not the best kind of ideal situation to give birth naturally, because of the amount of blood, that the amount of danger, that the amount of risk that I could be exposed to. So before you actually have your C-section here in the UK, you would be called in for blood test. So they'll just need to do a number of blood tests, and before that you'll be seeing your consultant. So I had a consultant, and I will see my consultant. You have to sign paperwork, what would happen if you lose blood, consent forms, all of that jazz, admin basically. And then a week before, you then go in to the hospital to do some blood test, and then you obviously booked in for your operation. Now, you are told about the risk, and you should be aware of the risk, and do read about the risk, because that's very, very important, so you know exactly what to do and what to expect. And if you do have any questions, these are great opportunities for you to definitely ask the expert. You know, that way your nerves and everything. I had to pause. Yeah, so best to ask questions if you do have any. And furthermore, if also you are iron deficient in any way, I feel like I'm hearing noises. But yeah, so once you do your blood test, you basically come in for your appointed time. Once you go in, you be checked into the ward, and then you'll be given that hospital gown. And just bear in mind that in the operating room here in the UK, it's only yourself and somebody else that can go in. Only two of you are allowed to go in. You can play your own music. You can have that. You're not allowed any cameras, and you can take your phone for pictures only once they allow you to take pictures in the theatre room. Once your time comes, you then are wheeled into the theatre room. By then, before you're wheeled away into the theatre room, you would have been seeing the consultant. They would have been checking your vitals, like just checking your blood pressure, that you're okay, is everything well. And while they're doing all of that, you're not allowed to eat as well before the operation, and you are given medication to prevent any blood clotting as well the night prior to coming to the hospital. And then in the morning you take those, and then you don't eat, like any operations, you don't eat before you're operated on. So once you go to the theatre, it could be an hour after arriving at the hospital. If there's no delays, it could be 2 hours. For me, I think we waited about 2.5 hours after arriving, and mind you, I didn't eat from the night before with the instructions that I was given. So by the time I actually went into a theatre, I was starving. I was really starving, and I was nervous because it took a bit longer for us to go in for whatever. Yeah, so it took a bit of time before we got in. But once I finally went into the theatre room, it was all lovely. You've got the nurses, you've got the consultant there, you've got the doctor there. And everybody was super, super friendly, making jokes, more conversation, really, really making you feel at ease. They explained everything. And they ask you for like your name, your date of birth, are you aware what's happening? They basically reiterate what you would have gone through in the morning in the ward. The ward, they just basically reiterate everything again. So they make you feel at ease. They explain to you about the anesthesia, what's going to happen during the process, the procedures. And then once you feel comfortable and they kind of get all their checks in order, they start the process. So like I said, it literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes to deliver that baby, unless there are complications. Now for me, there was complication because I lost a lot of blood, but we thank God my baby arrived safely, and I recovered and recovering well, so I thank God for that. But I was in the theatre room for way longer than expected. But yeah, once you're in the theatre room, they talk about the local anesthesia, and they basically start, they obviously, the anesthesia, they do it from your back, so it's a very, very like scary thing to experience, because when they were putting the anesthesia on my back, on your spine, because they want to numb everything down below, I was just like, please don't touch anything that you shouldn't. Do not touch any nerve that you shouldn't. I was just like praying so hard. But they are expert at what they do, and I was relaxed, and then they conversate with you. They make you feel relaxed. So it wasn't as bad as I may have imagined, or I may have thought, or I may have read. Everybody was super sweet, super nice at the hospital that I went to. And then once they finish doing what they're doing, and they kind of start checking and start telling you, can you feel this, can you feel that, just checking that the anesthesia is working. Once the anesthesia starts working, then they start to lay you down. You lay down, and then it's basically go from then on. It's go. They lay you down, they talk a bit more, they get all their metals, their equipment, everything prepped up, and they put like this kind of like wall sheet in front of you, so there's this barrier between everybody that's operating on one side and you on the other side, so you actually don't get to feel, you don't get to see what they're doing, but you definitely feel what they're doing. Like I said, C-section is the strangest thing. Like, when I went in, I didn't know whether I was going to feel like childbirth pain. Like, I didn't know, but I felt no pain at all during the operation. The only thing that I felt is I knew there was a lot of pulling, a lot of tugging, tugging, and I was just, okay, it's okay, my baby. So I kept feeling a lot of pulling and a lot of tugging, and it was just so bizarre, and I can hear people talking, but I was such in a daze. I was like nervous, trying not to be nervous. I was like, what's going on? Is the baby out? Because you don't see anything. You feel like everything's taking so long, and then after some time, if yours is 5-10 minutes, brilliant. If yours is a bit longer, mine was a bit longer, then I was like, and I can hear them like talking, like whispering, because they don't want me to hear that I'm losing blood. And it was so scary because I lost so much blood that honestly I had to get like a blood transfusion. That's how much blood I lost. And then, but once the baby arrives, they're all kind of like lift the baby to show you. So we actually didn't want to know the sex of the baby, so they lifted the baby and they was like, ta-da! It was like, it's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy. And then that's when you can then take pictures, and then they do skin to skin. They do skin to skin, they weigh the baby, and then your partner's there or whoever's there with you to kind of like experience all of that, and it's great. And then afterwards, they kind of still chat with you. They talk to you throughout the operation, and then afterwards they kind of conversate with you and, you know, make you feel as much relaxed as possible. But you still don't feel pain. I wasn't screaming. I was basically numb. I was like, it's okay, baby, we have to go anyway. I wasn't like in pain. I was just feeling strange, feeling like what's going on, feeling not feeling myself, a bit scared, happy. You have so many mixed emotions, you really do. Show you the baby, you hear the cry, everything just kind of is at peace, because you know, like, you've made it. They've done their job, and you don't know, if you've never had a C-section, you don't know what then comes after. If you've never had a complication, you don't know what comes after. So for me, I was just nervous because I don't know what to expect. So for me, the whole process was very nerve-wracking, but that's basically what happens. And then depending on your scenario, you're then wheeled back into your ward with your baby. They ask you, do you want to hold the baby? It was so emotional because I actually got wheeled back to a different area to be monitored. So they ask you, do you want us to, because the baby can go in its own kind of wheeling bed, or you can hold the baby. So they give you the option. They were like, do you want to hold the baby, or do you want us to take it with you? I was like, no, let me hold the baby. So you're holding this fresh baby on your chest, and it's just like, oh my God, like, you was in my belly and now you're here. What a miracle. Like, And for me, when they told me, let me just go back a few, when the baby came out and they were like, it's a boy, it didn't quite register straight away. I think I cried once they put the baby on my chest, because I was like, oh my gosh. I literally cried. I was like, I did that. I cried. I genuinely cried. And then when I got wheeled back to be observed, because I needed to be observed, be observed to check how I'm doing, and I was holding the baby, it was just so emotional, because I was just like, and everybody at the hospital, whenever they see like a mum and the newborn, they're like, congratulations, 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 congratulations. That's all I kept hearing is congratulations. So just that, to hear congratulations, it was just peace, it was just beauty, like but everybody was super, super nice. There was just like a few instances when I was in a ward, I may request for, like, I don't know, tea, or I may request for extra towels, or I may request for the hospital gown, and it may not get to me straight away, or I may press the buzzer and they come and they're a little bit like not as cheery as I would like them to be. But when you're doing a 12-hour shift, it is what it is. But not every nurse is as sweet as your last sweet nurse, and not every nurse is, but it's different. But all in all, if I have to rate my experience, I would say it was a bit traumatic. It was traumatic, but I had the best person by my side, and yeah, I was comforted, I was loved, I was cared for, I was looked after, and it just made my whole experience like amazing. And seeing my baby's face and just watching my baby, I was just like, oh, what a miracle. So if you are thinking that you're pregnant and you're gonna have a natural birth, but for whatever reason it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. You will recover. And the most important thing is that you have a healthy, safe delivery. That is the number one priority, and you're able to recover thereafter, and you've got the right support, because the right support would truly, truly make your experience easy. Because my parents came to visit, helping out at the hospital, and because with the C-section, at first you're just numb. You just think you've got the strength, and then the pain hits you, and when it hits you, you physically cannot do much for the first week. You just cannot do much, but your baby needs you so much that you find strength from somewhere. But at the same time, there's so many other things going on. If you have other kids, or if you've got other responsibilities, that you need that support. And if you don't have it, us women, we are strong. We are strong. So big up to all the C-section mummies out there, and just big up to all the mums doing making sure that your kids are healthy, they're warm, they're happy, they're loved, they're cared for. One thing I would say is, I've been learning just by speaking to other people, or that a loving home is so important. Have a loving home for your child. Be that refuge where they can feel comfortable, they can feel at ease, they can come to you, they can just be that refuge, be that safe space, because there's not many safe spaces out there. But let our homes, that be the foundation of a safe space. So I don't know, if you want to see more content like this, if you've enjoyed watching, if that's kind of helped you a little bit to have a little bit of an understanding of the process, the procedures, what to expect. Every hospital is different, every nurse is different, every doctor's is different. And when I mean by difference, everybody's got different people's skills. Yeah, so my experience will be different to the next person, but all in all, I was nervous, I was scared. It's not what I wanted, but I'm just thankful and I'm grateful for a healthy baby. I'm thankful for the love, I'm thankful for the support system that I received, and I'm just thankful in general. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.